Hello, it's 10 o'clock, and welcome to the weather update on this last day of August, August 31st. And welcome to the weather update. We have a beautiful weekend ahead, and yeah, this is just showing you the satellite from a little earlier, around midday. We still had some of that cirrus around, but then it started pushing off to the south as we got toward later in the day. So let's take a look at the satellite loop. Man, I don't even think the satellite loop is long enough. I'm going to have to make it even longer. You can see the cirrus kind of skirting by us, and then in the afternoon, we cleared out. You'll notice maybe a little bit of smoke there. Not really much. You can see there's a bigger cloud of smoke up here, and that's the wild card for tomorrow, obviously. Let's take a look at the Hurricane Center here and just go over what we have, because we do have a new tropical system. Idalia is now considered post-tropical. But maximum sustained winds are still 65 miles an hour. Its minimum central pressure, 994 millibars. And it's moving east at 21 miles an hour. And you can see they're located at 33.4 north, 72.2 west. Let's take a look at the public advisory here for this. Idalia is pulling away from North Carolina, expected to affect Bermuda this weekend. So it looks like it's going to be heading for Bermuda as of 8 p.m. I don't know why they call it post-tropical. It could very well become a tropical system again, but they like doing that for whatever reason. Located 33.4 north, 72.2 west, and about 445 miles west-northwest of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are still 65 miles an hour. It's moving east at 21 miles an hour. Minimum social pressure 994 millibars at 29.36 inches. And they say gradual weakening is forecast through Friday night, but re-strengthening is possible over the weekend. And yes, right here, expected to transition back to a tropical storm on Saturday. And look at that, 230-mile extent on the winds. NOAA buoy 41002, well to the south of Cape Hatteras, recently reported a sustained wind of 36 miles an hour with a gust of 47. So with this storm out here, I think the water is going to be rough at the beaches for quite a while. Let's look at the cone here, and you'll see here they have it kind of just slowly moving, and then it's going to slow down, and then it looks like it's trying to turn back toward the north as we get toward Tuesday. That's what they have on that. But that's not the only system out there. Again, we have Franklin, still a hurricane. Believe it or not, it is still a hurricane. It's unbelievable. Let's go to the latest public advisory on Franklin. It's unbelievable. Franklin's expected to become a strong extratropical cyclone by Friday night. So they're going to transition it over to an extratropical cyclone. As of 5 p.m., it's located 36.0 north, 60.1 west, about 370 miles northeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are still 90 miles an hour. It's moving east-northeast at 14 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure, 970 millibars, 28.65 inches. And they still say gradual weakening with more significant weakening by the weekend. But look at the extent of hurricane force winds extending outward up to 60 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extending outward up to 160 miles from the center. So it's a big storm. And say hello to Jose, because that's our latest tropical system now that has formed. And luckily, this is not going to be a threat for the land, but we will talk about it. Jose is moving faster toward the north, still expected to be absorbed by Franklin on Friday. So this is going to actually get absorbed into Franklin. Its location, 30.8 north, 52.2 west. That's going to be something to see on the satellite. About 750 miles east of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 40 miles an hour, moving north at 12 miles an hour. The minimum social pressure, 1009 millibars at 29.80 inches. And then there's another area they're also watching here off Cape Verde that has a 90% chance of forming. So, and another area here. So, yeah, this could be, we may have like multiple named storms to deal with at a time here. Which brings me back that one year we had a whole bunch in the Atlantic. I don't remember what year it was. But anyway, let's take a look and see what these storms look like on the satellite here. And you can see if we just going back to our satellite here for a minute now, weather, just kind of see just a little bit of faint smoke here, very faint, but there is thicker smoke, and this is the wild card without getting today. But after the cirrus got out of here, we had some nice. This is what the cirrus looked like earlier on, and then that cleared on out of here, and then we had Mostly sunny skies. You know where I was. And I didn't take a video, but I was in the Pine Barrens. Yeah, the usual spot of Deer Park. But I did actually go to Otsego Park, too. But no video. Kind of just enjoyed a walk. Didn't do a video. Sorry, I'm not going to do one every time I go to the Pine Barrens. You can see there, really nice sky there. And, again, really beautiful. And, yeah, look at that. Look at those shapes right there. And then it's just toward the sunset. Maybe you can see a slight bit of haze, but not really much. So let's close these down. So let's go to the satellite loop here. We'll start with Franklin, I guess. Franklin, it still looks tropical. Definitely, it's got a bit of a different look. No more big eye. And you can see it looks like it's starting to get a little sheer going on. So that's definitely affecting it, but still formidable. And I think this little thing here is Jose, or is it this little thing? Well, whatever. I think it's this little thing. So it's going to get absorbed into, or is it this one? I don't know, but it's one of these. Jose's one of these. I don't know if this one or that one looks like a disturbance too, but I don't know. I think this is Jose over here. This Jose is going to get absorbed into Franklin. It's going to look at how much smaller Jose is compared to Franklin. It's pretty nuts. So let's take a look now at Idalia, now that it has moved offshore. And here's Idalia. Yeah, you can see it's definitely weakened tremendously. You don't even see any bright white cloud top. So yeah, it is now post-tropical, or it's got some tropical characteristics, but it's really the remnants of it. But I think once it gets out over those warmer waters, it's going to definitely pick up strength again. Though it does have to move over waters that were churned up by Franklin. So sometimes it takes a little heat away, and we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, it's and then we got to look at Jose as well. Let's take a look at Jose. All right, this will show us Jose. So I think this is Jose right here. Jose is tiny in comparison to Franklin, but it's going to get absorbed into Franklin, which is going to definitely be very interesting to see on the satellite for sure. Let's take a look at the northern Atlantic satellite. I'm just so you get a chance to look at all these storms out here. All right, well, actually, that's not going to be. We're going to just do maybe tropical Atlantic. Maybe that would work. Maybe that will work. So we get a little portrait of all the storms. All right, this is Idalia. This is Franklin. And this is Jose. Yeah, this looks like this could become something too. So, yeah, I think we have a lot going on here. Let's now shift over to the smoke. Yeah, we'll do the southeast Alaska first. You can see lots of smoke over here still. The fire's still going, obviously, though it looks like there is a front moving through that might bring some rain. Look at that pretty bad fire right here in British Columbia is still going. Let's go to the northern Canada, northern U.S. loop. So it's going to visualize the smoke for us. Let's, do a 60 frame here. This will work. Or maybe that's too much. It seems like it's stuck on that. All right, let's do 48. Yeah, it's giving me a little problem. But you can see all the smoke over here. So the question, of course, now is, and I will pause this right there. The question is, will we get into this? Will we stay in this clear air over here? Or will we have to deal with the smoke diving down from Canada? That is the question. And some of the models are now kind of backing off on the smoke coming down, and it might just go due east. But you can see there is quite a bit of smoke there. But then we have clear air over here. So let's go to the models. I guess let's go back to our current conditions. Actually, we got to talk about them. Wow, Westhampton is already down to 54. That is not surprising at all. So very good radiational cooling in the Pine Barrens tonight. That's incredible that it dropped. It dropped so fast. I mean, it went down so fast. I mean, the temperatures were generally in the mid-70s today. Low dew points. The dew points were generally in the upper 40s and low to mid-50s. You can see what happened once the sun set. 7 o'clock, it just started dropping like a rocket, Westhampton. And now we're down to 54. So You could get down to near 50 degrees at Westhampton. Most other sites, though, have the wind, and that's keeping the temperatures up. 66 with a dew point of 48 at Islip. So let's go look at our highs for the day. And mid-70s, generally speaking. Mid-70s on Long Island, though. A little bit warmer in New Jersey with upper 70s. Generally, though, into upper 70s. Very nice. Lows, obviously, going to be the low at 54 at Westhampton. I think the current temperatures might have gotten a little cooler, I guess, this morning, mid-60s, some 50s in Jersey. But tonight we're going to have very, very good opportunities for radiational cooling, except, of course, in the urban areas. But I might even be able to turn off the air conditioner here. Might. We'll have to see what happens. So let's go to the models, and we'll take a look and see how your weekend's going to turn out, because it's going to be beautiful. So there's Idalia moving east. This is the GFS. Very strong high on top of us tomorrow. Pushes Idalia and pushes it southeast almost. And then as it gets into the warmer water, it's going to re-strengthen. And you see high pressure over us, stays over us. We start getting a southwesterly flow. But you notice dry conditions. No rain in the forecast at all. And we'll have to wait maybe for another week before we see a chance of rain on Friday, and that's it. So staying very dry as we have a ridge over the east. And this very strong high pressure system right there, pushing that Idalia down there like that is quite incredible. Let's look at the European, at the 12s of European, and see how it looks on here. So again, here's your high pressure keeping. You can see how it's just sitting there. And it's going to have time to strengthen. And look what the Euro does. It flings it back toward the coast. So, I mean, yeah, I know. Like I said, we're going to have to watch Idalia. That would be something if it came back and hit us. You never know, folks. You just never know. Because look at what the European is doing here. Because that we have the high, and then we have the jet stream, like I said, just basically disappearing. We were speaking about this last night, and we'll cover this again, because over the weekend we're going to have shorter weather updates. So you see here what's going on with the jet stream here. It just kind of goes well up into Canada, and then we basically have no jet stream. So it's a mess. Let's look at the GFS. Kind of does the same thing. So here's the GFS, though it has a little different look. But yeah, we have to watch where Idalia is going to go. But generally speaking, the jet stream is missing in action here. So that's not a good sign, and that's also going to mean we're going to be above normal next week, as we already know. We're going to be dealing with the temperatures above normal. Again, looking at our temperature anomaly chart here, just briefly into next week here. Nope, that's the dew point. Temperature anomaly chart here. You'll see a little bit below normal. Enjoy the below normal temperatures, because once we get towards Sunday, we're going to start being above normal, as well as much of the United States east of the Rockies. So it's going to be plenty of warmth. So even though Labor Day is the unofficial, look at this, the whole country is warm in the longer range. So it's not good. For those of you who are looking for a nice cool down in September, well, your cool down is now enjoyed, because after that, things are going to be kind of warm. So let's go to and again, we'll talk more about the long range, I think, on Sunday or Monday night, I think. But next week definitely will be warm. So let's go to the HRRR. And obviously we have no precipitation to look at. So you can see high pressure. There's nothing going on. Let's look at the dew points. And they stay nice and low. So dew points in the 40s to the 50s. Northeast winds, east winds tomorrow. Eventually, by late afternoon, we'll start seeing the winds turn southeast. That might bring a slight increase in humidity, but still staying fairly comfortable. Dew points generally in the 40s and 50s. And then we have more of that westerly flow, the southwesterly flow on Saturday, which will mean a warmer day than tomorrow. So one more really cool day tomorrow. And you can see tonight, temperature is going to drop into the mid-50s, and they may even drop into the 50s in the alley. We're going to see if they do. And then for your Friday, you'll see here, temperatures go back up into we'll see if they drop. Probably not. I'm getting too optimistic here. Temperatures tomorrow, probably mid to upper 70s, similar to today. And then we'll have that. And then tomorrow night, also cool again, mid-50s. And then Saturday, that's when we'll start heating things up a little bit, closer to 80 degrees, but it's still showing a sea breeze, so it wouldn't heat up that much, I guess. Let's go to the GFS next, and we will go, and I guess we'll start with the look at the temperatures here. So, again, warmer on Saturday is the key here, and then Sunday, that's when we start bringing the warmth in. You can see temperatures up into the low to mid 80s, perhaps near 90 in New Jersey, and then here's the hot day, Monday. Looks like a decent sea breeze on Long Island, though it still could hit 90 here in Mineola, but the rest of the areas will deal with 80s. Jersey, going to be dealing with mid-90s, and then, yep, same damn thing on Tuesday. Look at that. A heat wave to start off September for at least New Jersey. 90s again for Wednesday. So, yeah, you can see we're going to be dealing with warm, above normal temperatures all week long. So, and then here we are, still above normal for Friday next week. And still kind of, it doesn't really cool off again that much because, again, we don't, this nice little push of air we got is due to a dip in the jet stream, but there's going to be no jet stream next week. We're going to have a big ridge overhead. So let's look at dew points. So dew points start going up a little bit on Sunday. Nothing crazy, but you'll see dew points in the 60s here, and maybe one of those days next week we'll have a really humid day. And then you can see what happens here. The fronts just don't make it through. They kind of just wash out. So, yeah, lots of crappy weather up ahead, unfortunately. But, again, as far as temperatures go, and, you know, it's not going to feel very comfortable. But the good news is at least we have a beautiful weather up ahead. I shouldn't have said that crappy. I mean, it's just, you know, for those of us looking for some a major cool down, well, this is it. And then we're going to be back into the above normal conditions again. Let's look at skies now. And obviously for tomorrow, I think we're going to have mostly sunny skies, but we'll have to watch for that smoke. Saturday, we may have some cirrus starting to mix in. Sunday, looks like the cirrus kind of moves away on Sunday. And a little wave of cirrus on Monday. But generally speaking, Tuesday, we got sunshine. There will be plenty of sunshine next week. That's the good news. So that's why I shouldn't have said crappy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just, we're going to be very warm. So summer continues, even though Labor Day is the unofficial end of summer. And yes, once we get into September 1st, technically climatological summer is over. However, most people go by astronomical summer, and that continues until September 20th or 21st. So summer, for those who like the summer, well, you're going to love next week. It's going to be very good summer weather. But for those of us who want some more fall-like weather, well, I'm sorry, we're just going to have to wait. Let's go look at the RGM here. We'll look at the RGM here for skies. So you can see no clouds tomorrow. It's going to be mostly sunny, except for again, there might be some smoke. And then for Saturday, a few maybe cirrus clouds, that's it. Sunday, not much either. Not much in the way of clouds. So that's what I'm saying. We're going to have plenty of sun, but the issue is the smoke. So let's go look at the RAP smoke model here. And it has backed off a little bit on how much smoke we're going to see tomorrow. So let's take a look at this. So you see this big cloud of smoke here. Kind of winds up staying to the north. Doesn't really come up. We may get some fringe effects of it, but really, it really winds up staying to the north. And then after that, it kind of leaves. So we may not get into the worst of this, and we're not going to deal with any surface smoke either. So I don't think we're going to deal with any of that. But you see, the worst of it's going to the north. So we may deal with some light smoke. All right, so tomorrow is the 1st. So let's look at this again. I wish I could pause this. I can't. Yeah, can I pause it? Yes, okay. So here's tomorrow. Around 11 o'clock, moving along. Here we are closer to so I'll go back one here, 19. So we'll go back to 18, which is 2 o'clock. It's really not showing much, so we may not have much smoke here tomorrow. It looks like the worst of it might be to the north, so we'll have to see. It doesn't look like the sky will wind up being that hazy, at least according to this model. We can look at another model, and I can also look at the latest model, which is the 0Z run, but it's not going to go as far. But we can look at that and see what it looks like. So this is, again, let's see, we'll run this as well. This is the latest one, so this will just take us through to, part of tomorrow here. It's really showing that it's going to go more to the north now. So we may not have that much haze in the sky after all. It may be a very nice, clear sky tomorrow. I'm hoping it is, because this is really the best time to do it. To do a hike today, but I want to do a longer one tomorrow, and hopefully a video that'll come with it. But let's look at one other model here, HRRR. All right, I know we use the HRRR smoke model. This is a different model here, but I just want to see what the HRRR thinks here. This is a different one, but we will look at it nonetheless, because it kind of does show it coming in over us tomorrow. You can see, but look at it, it kind of backs away. So we're gonna have to see. It's very hard to predict what's gonna happen, and the HRRR is generally not as good of a model, I think. So that's why I generally don't use it for the smoke. But hopefully it doesn't ruin what will be a very nice clear day tomorrow. It better not. Let's keep that smoke in Canada. All right. So I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Oh, yeah, one more thing. We'll go to the climatology for today. And that's going to be it. So let's see. We got here. So looking at Islip, high was only 76. That's 3 degrees below normal. The low of 64 was right at normal. And so that puts us at a mean of 70, which is 2 degrees below normal. Tomorrow will probably be even more below normal. Central Park was 3 degrees below normal for the day. So again, enjoy these below normal temperatures because they're not going to last. And the summer feels definitely be back by I think Sunday into all of next week. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching and have a good night.